you ready to talk?
Razzle dazzle.
Terrany, tell us who you are and where are we?
My name is Terrany Johnson, also known as T-Double, and we are in T-Topia, my personal recording lair.
I should get a plaque in my city for never being whacked while I spit these words.
Tell us about the beginning of music for you and how it all started for you.
We lived behind a record store, so there was always music going on in my house. None of my parents, my siblings, nobody in my immediate family was musically inclined. Nobody played instruments, nothing like that. But we always had music going, so I was inspired by that. You know, I wanted to, like, I guess you could say, like, impress the girls with poems and stuff like that when I was around 7. So I would start writing poems, and I got really into that. It transformed from trying to impress the girls to being like an escape artistically for me, because, you know, I was kind of like a loner in class. I was an introvert, still kind of an introvert. So writing poems and being creative, I used to write like little mini books in school as well, that this was a great way for me to express that, but just musically, rhythmically, and hip hop was starting to show up down here a little bit more. So I just kind of went with it, and it worked.
So what were some of the first inspirations? What artists inspired you in the beginning? What inspired you in music?
I'd say the main artist that really transformed what I do is Prince. It's always been Prince. Prince is the one that really set it off. But, you know, we had Parliament Funkadelic, we had James Brown, a lot of Marvin Gaye in my house, Ella Fitzgerald, had a lot of jazz, Miles Davis. So I was exposed to a lot of different audio textures, sonic textures. So I was kind of well versed in other things besides just, you know, hip hop or just heavy drum stuff. So that's why I can like maneuver in a lot of those different areas artistically. My first rap name, I think it was TJ Jam, Terrany Johnson Jams, TJ Jams. Yeah, it was TJ Jam. Yeah, TJ Jam. And that was like from 3rd grade to maybe 5th grade. And then at 6th grade, I became Whistle T. And that's when I really started like creating my persona, creating my whole vibe, my whole thing, because more people started knowing me around the neighborhood and at other elementaries, right? So I became Whistle T, and then when I got to junior high, I became T-Double. So that was around 13 years old. So I've been T-Double ever since. So a lot of people know me as T-Double like it's my real name, because I've been that so long, right? That's like my neighborhood name, family name. Even my mom calls me T-Double sometimes. I knew what my goal was, and I knew that's where I wanted to be. And if other people didn't want to go that same path with me, everybody's free to do whatever. But I was like, you know, I would tell Charles when we were young, I was like, yo, we're gonna get Grammys. We're gonna go to the Grammys. We're gonna like sell these records. And you know, this is like 13. And I was like, this is what we're gonna do if we stick with it. And you know, and now years later, you know what I mean, like it came full circle, and it, you know, it's a reality. You have to want to do it, right? You have to really get out there and be on it and be proactive with your own career. You can't sit there and wait for something magical to happen, somebody to walk in. The music industry isn't like that no more. The music industry is not going to find you like how Hanson got found outside of a South by Southwest softball game, you know, on the last day of that. They were outside singing Bop, and the softball game had managers, whatever, and people were like, who are those kids? And they got found, right? Or like Matthew McConaughey sitting at the Driscoll, or whatever the stories and the myths are, and somebody stumbles across you and be like, oh, you're exactly what I've been looking like. That doesn't happen anymore. You have to go out there and smell your own flowers and be like, you know what, I'm the shit. Let me go hard and prove it to other people. A lot of people will give you their advice on how to be successful, be superstars, whatever, but they don't have the stats and the facts. I'm real big on stats and facts. What have you done that you can show me right now why I should take your advice. And if you can't do that, then what are we really talking about? My history is so long of accomplishments, of things that I've done. I've been really blessed to have the career I have. That's why I can talk the shit I talk, because I lived it. I lived it. I've signed with majors. I've signed with indies. I've been indie. I've dropped hella records. I'm into the sync space. I'm everywhere. You know, I do stuff at City Hall. Yeah, I've done stuff at City Hall. We started that Austin Moves Music campaign where we were helping musicians years ago when they were, God, that was maybe 8 years ago, possibly. And we started that to help with the hotel hot tax, when that was really a big discussion when it started. Because the hotel tax is a huge pot of money that the city usually just rolls back into like dumb stuff that they don't even really. Yeah, the hotel tax comes from tourism and people come in from South by Southwest, and now the soccer, FC, and all that. And it needs to be put back towards the creatives and the music. Like, you can't say Austin is the live music capital and we have like the highest per capita of starving musicians. Insane. Homeless musicians, musicians without health care, musicians without access to equipment repair, musicians without access to industry infrastructure. Like, Nashville is really the live music capital, as opposed to what Austin is. We just carried it and look like we're cool, right? Like, Austin is posers. We're posing like we really like. We are not that. We are not that. We are not that. And we were at one time. Like, there was a time where you could walk down Congress and there was record labels everywhere. Mercury, Universal, Polygram, Boom, Boom, Elektra, everywhere in the city. Like, they were out here trying to sign everybody. But then we as artists weren't knowledgeable about as far as our careers and contracts. So we became too much of a hassle to sign a band and have to re-educate them on the industry, right? So they just all eventually left and was like, we're out of here. They went to Nashville, or they went to Atlanta, or they went back to New York or Cali or whatever. And we were kind of here like, oh shit. But hip hop and Tejano music and metal and jazz and those art forms that didn't rely on 6th Street to survive, we're still doing well. We're still selling music. We're still packing shows, all that. Now, so I'm in a position to help others, I'm just going to help other people, because they might not have a mom that supports them like that. They might not have friends that support them like that. But I want to be the one to say, you know what? You're doing okay. You're doing all right, but you need to do a little bit more of this. You know, be gentle, but still be stern when I talk to artists, right? Like, you're on the right path, but do this. Because I did that, and look what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I'm the proof. Why would I want you to keep making stone wheels when I can help you build that spaceship to be transdimensional, right? That's what I want you to do. Like, everybody's still making stone wheels and cavemen's here. 'Cause that's what Spotify and all that is. That's caveman work. That's not amazing. That's caveman work. I'm trying to get you blast off. So that's why I've never moved away from Austin. Because underserved communities, black, brown, underserved genres, hip hop, rock, whatever, we need our own superhero. Austin has Stevie Ray Vaughan, Willie Nelson. We have all these people that are their superhero, that people aspire to be like, but don't know why. Right? Did Stevie Ray Vaughan have the best record deal in the world to become a millionaire? Not at all. Is he a great guitar player? Yes. He got a statue by the lake. Right? When you really put it in perspective of what we're cheering and championing, then you're like, okay, black artists, Spanish artists, they need somebody to look at that, looks like them, and be like, I could do that too, without having to leave the city. I don't have to run away to be successful. You can stay right here and be more successful, which is what I've chosen to do.
Bringing them back, man, I'm just bringing them back. Shame on a coward who devours